Have you been told that that there are visitors from elsewhere, either dimensional or other planets or both,
Yes,
that they are intervening in human affairs? Have you been told that sort of directly?
absolutely, yes.
He's been told it directly. Now, we do know that he has had meetings at Area 51 and I believe Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. All those secret places, they brought him in. He was the anointed one for this disclosure. The U.S. Navy secretly designed a super fast futuristic aircraft resembling a UFO, documents reveal, to travel at extreme speeds. Aircraft uses complex technology to reduce its mass and thereby lessen objects' resistance to motion.
Think you can handle that?
We got over here, this is on Political. U.S. Navy drafting new guidelines for reporting UFOs. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard this. This happened last week. Part of the disclosure initiative to get this acclimated to the public. This is all part of the slow disclosure program by the government. The U.S. Navy is drafting new guidelines for pilots and other personnel to report encounters with unidentified aircraft. A significant new step in creating a formal process to collecting and analyzing unexplained sightings and designating them. There have been a number of reports of unauthorized and or unidentified aircraft entering various military-controlled ranges and designated airspace in recent years. Recent? I think this has been happening a lot. They don't want you to know that.
Right?
Navy and the U.S. Air Force takes these reports very seriously and investigates each and every report. To be clear, the Navy isn't endorsing the idea that its sailors have encountered alien spacecraft. They got to make sure to get that across for the public. But it is acknowledging there have been enough strange aerial sightings by credible and highly trained military personnel that they need to be recorded in an official record and studied. Ding, ding, ding on that one. Rather than dismiss as some kooky phenomenon from the realm of science fiction. Another step. See, there's a lot of people arguing on that Luis Elizondo video I did. They're like, you UFO guys, you're finally getting disclosure and you're not liking it. No, let me be clear. I am happy that this is happening, but we got to be careful with it. I would definitely take this over no disclosure. Believe me, I would. But as Luis Elizondo says, we do have to push him, and that's what the UFO community is about. We're going to try to push for that full disclosure. That is our job. We've been researching this stuff for so long that we want the whole thing. For the government to... The fact that the government is finally releasing this stuff tells me that they have an ulterior motive. They're only going to do it if it helps them. And this gets into the whole debate of, yes, you got SpaceX and all the private industry that's going to be able to get to the moon and see all this stuff. And they'll have to say it now ahead of time before, they have egg on their face. So they have to stay ahead of it. But we have to break this down and call it what it is. Okay, there's going to be a lot of people that be like, oh, so UFOs are real. And then they're just going to take and believe the whole government scenario about it. It is deep, I will say that. So now here we get back into the UAP things. The military now calls unexplained aerial phenomenon rather than unidentified flying objects. So they're trying to push the UAP again because that's a less of a harsh word, I guess. So people don't get into fear-based stuff. I don't know. So Mellon, this is Chris Mellon from To the Stars Academy. He said, in a lot of cases, military personnel don't know what to do with that information. They will dump the data because it's not traditional aircraft or missiles. There's such a stigma even in the military that if you see a UFO, it's like, I better not say anything because people are going to think I'm crazy. But now with this, it's a perfect example. We're going to start taking these reports, start documenting them now, and then they'll release these to the public and say, all right, there's something here. Luis Elizondo says, if you are in a busy airport and you see something, you're supposed to say something. With our own military members, it's kind of the opposite. If you do see something, don't say something. Elizondo will be featured in an upcoming documentary series about the Pentagon UFO research he oversaw. He said the 6-part series will reveal more recent sightings of UAPs by a dozen of military pilots. So again, the Unexplained going to be on the History Channel. That will be on May 31st. Some people said they're not going to watch it. I'm going to try to watch it. I am a cord cutter, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to watch it. But I think it's important for research to see how they're going to break this stuff down, because this is the official disclosure narrative by the government, and we want to see exactly what they're going to say, how they're going to say it. Because I already showed you on previous programs how Luis Elizondo doesn't like to push the alien thing, but in the Q&A, he basically said it was aliens, and we got to let the public come to that decision. So it's all about personal thought that they have to bring the people up with. So as I'll play a short Tucker Carlson clip. This is a little long. It's like 5 minutes. So I'm going to try to cut it off. Maybe I'll comment in between so we don't go too far over for copyrights or whatever. But this is part of the new drafting report. Chris Mellon is in this thing. And let's listen in and see what they have to say.
The Navy isn't certain what is going on. The Navy did just confirm that it is drafting new guidelines for personnel to report encounters with, quote, unidentified aircraft. The goal is to destigmatize the sightings of advanced, very high-speed aircraft that have been seen quite frequently approaching Navy ships and facilities without explanation. And the Navy issued a statement that said, in part, this, quote, there have been a number of reports of unauthorized and/or unidentified aircraft entering various military control ranges and designated airspace in recent years. For safety and security concerns, the Navy and the U.S. Air Force take these reports very seriously and investigate each and every report. As part of this effort, the Navy is updating and formalizing the process by which reports of any such suspected incursions can be made to the cognizant authorities, unquote. Chris.
Hell of a change, by the way. They have to do this to get, you can get the government to say that this is legit. That's the biggest way. That's why people are like, you know, we don't need the government to disclose UFOs. We're doing the disclosure. Well, no, we've been doing the disclosure for how long? There's been so many UFO conferences, CE5s, all that stuff. People put information out. Whistleblowers, like I said, the 2001 press club briefing with Stephen Greer. That's why I give him props. He woke me up, a big part of my awakening in the UFO thing. That press club briefing in 2001, all those firsthand witnesses swear on the Bible. Guy at NASA said he's seen bases on the backside of the moon. That is not credible, but as soon as you have government officials that will come out and say it's official, then the public will take it seriously.
As a former Pentagon intelligence official, he's closely involved in the History Channel's upcoming 6-part series, Unidentified, Inside America's UFO Investigation. He joins us tonight. Chris, thanks very much for coming on. So we've gone in a pretty short period of time from the U.S. military not really acknowledging that there is such a thing to them acknowledging that these sightings are so frequent they need a formal process for reporting them. What's changed?
Yes, thank you, Tucker. It's an extraordinary turnaround, and it's really the result of an interaction between Congress and the Navy. And the fact that this has gotten on Congress's radar began some discussions which elevated an issue that before this time had been smothered and kept at low levels of the bureaucracy. So now you have more senior policymaking officials hearing in some cases firsthand from the aviators involved and other personnel. They're learning the reality of the issue, and they're asking some direct and sometimes tough questions. And so this has elevated this entire issue within the department, and kudos to both for engaging really listening to our men and women in uniform who've been squelched in the past, who've really been treated with disdain sometimes for reporting what's happening.
Well, I mean, and pilots, of course, are trained to discern between aircraft and weather balloons. So, like, if there's one group you should listen to, it's pilots. How often...
By the way, as we go through this, pay attention to Chris Mellon, because when they're going to bring up the alien, what this could be alien, watch him swallow. Like, you can tell he knows a lot.
And are these sightings reported? Do we know?
We don't know. We believe that probably 8 or 9 times out of 10, they are not reported when there's an encounter. We know from numerous debriefings and interviews that individuals in squadrons, when they bring a story forward, they're the only individual in their squadron usually who's willing to do so or have that discussion. We see the same thing among commercial airline pilots. It's not career enhancing, to say the least. We know these individuals are often ridiculed, and were in the past, which is partly why this is such an important development. They're saying it's a legitimate issue now. You can talk about it.
So, but what do they
It's
think?
legit.
I mean,
Wait, it's legit now. You can talk about it.
Come again.
It's legit. Government has given the blessing to talk about it. So, all right, here we go.
reading this morning some of these sightings, again, by military pilots who know the difference, estimate that these are objects moving at 15,000 miles per hour, for example. I mean, that's so much faster than any object, human-made object, has ever traveled that we're aware of. So what do they think that is? What's the going theory on this?
Yeah, this is tough terrain. There are 3 hypotheses that people have put forward, and none of them are very comfortable. One is that one of our adversaries has leapfrogged us technologically, China or Russia. Putin has been making some extraordinary claims about Russian technology. Another theory is that these are some test aircraft of the U.S. I think we can discard that now with the Navy itself acknowledging these are not American. And the third popular theory, of course, is that these may be from some civilization elsewhere beyond our solar system.
Yeah.
And none of these theories are very comfortable to contemplate, but we have to look at facts and derive theories from facts, not start with theories and disrule or rule out facts.
I mean,
So we'll stop.
Definitely.
Well, there you go. It's aliens, but we were so scared to tell you it was aliens for the longest time. I was listening to a coast to coast clip. Tom DeLonge was on there. This was fairly recent. I got this clip last week. For those who don't know, Tom DeLonge is the CEO and president of To the Stars Academy. It's running this whole disclosure narrative. Luis Elizondo's under him. Chris Mellon, who you just saw, is under him as well. They're going with the play that we don't know what it is. Well, here's your CEO, president, saying that it's aliens, and he's been told directly. So I'm going to roll this clip.
Tell us where the flying saucers are, Tom. What did you learn? Where are they? Where are these aliens from?
Well, number one, there's multiple different races. It's not just one specific kind, and the different races don't get along with each other, and we don't really get along with them either.
There it is. There's a clip. Multiple different races. We don't get along with them, and they don't get along with each other either. I don't want to say he's completely wrong, because we do know that there is races, but this is what they're going to use to push the threat narrative. But we don't know what it is. Chris Mellon, Luis Elizondo, but your CEO and president says it's aliens. Now, who is he told by? Let's listen to this clip.
Well, have you been told that there are visitors from elsewhere, either dimensional or other planets or both,
Yes.
that they are intervening in human affairs? Have you been told that sort of directly?
Absolutely, yes.
He's been told it directly. Now, we do know that he has had meetings at Area 51 and I believe Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. All those secret places, they brought him in. He was the anointed one for this disclosure. He's been told that directly. Okay? So I don't want to hear that we don't know what it is. It's the alien thing. All part of it, and I proved it right here. So now the next step, this was a big week last week, so this gets even deeper. U.S. Navy, let me bring the breaking news clip up, or the lower thirds. The U.S. Navy secretly designed a super fast futuristic aircraft resembling a UFO, documents reveal. Timelines are interesting on this, too. Gotta pay attention to that. The U.S. Navy has been granted a patent for an advanced aircraft which resembles a flying saucer UFO. Military inventors filed a patent for a highly unusual flying machine which uses an internal mass reduction device. to travel at extreme speeds. Aircraft uses complex technology to reduce its mass and thereby lessen objects' resistance to motion.
Think you can handle that?
So it can move along at high velocities. Again, people say this stuff doesn't exist. The government filed a patent for a technology that reduces the mass so it can glide basically without resistance. And the patent has pictures, all that good stuff. Looks kind of like a TR-3B. It's got a triangle, but maybe this is just the technology. Creates a vacuum around that craft, allowing it to propel itself at high speeds. The UFO-style ship can be used in water, air, or even space. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Although the U.S. Navy applied for the patent in 2016, ding, ding, ding. Keep in mind that date, folks. And it was granted last year, it doesn't necessarily mean the craft has been built and tested. However, the technology is further evidence the military's interest in developing exotic technologies. And of course, the U.S. government researchers investigated wormholes, anti-gravity, invisibility, cloaking, warp drives, and high-energy laser weapons. BS, they know what this is. This is why I brought this date up here. 2016, folks. I think I might have accidentally said 2006 for those on the podcast. 2016. Why is that date important? That was the year, it was in October, that the To the Stars Academy thing was launched. So when you put the puzzle pieces together, this was going to be part of the disclosure initiative to start gripping things and putting puzzle, oh, we got to do this thing. It's like Luis Elizondo saying, I quit the day before. No, you had it planned, you had it figured out, just like this is planned to put this, they have this patent here. By the way, I got the patent on screen. This is on the Google Patents site. Filed in 2016. So they can show this to the public and then, oh yeah, by the way, we did make that. So, right in your face disclosure. This stuff is coming down the line. It was a big, big week last week. What are they going to announce in the future? It's be crazy stuff. So I think we're going to take a break. I know everybody wants to get to the 3 Days of Darkness stuff. We'll get to that after the break. I am going to open the phone lines up if you guys want to call in and share, add some stuff, because this is a very, very deep topic. I don't know if I'll get it all down the way I might miss a puzzle piece, but stay tuned after the break.
You're listening to Talk is Cheap with Dan Hohlfeld on the K2D4 network.
Call us live at 1-605-562-0444. Show ID 146509. Phone lines are open.
Big tech giants are censoring people's voices. Subscribe to our backup channels on BitChute and DTube. Go to K2D4network.com for all the links.
Enjoying the show? Consider supporting us by donating to our Patreon. Patreon.com/K2D4network.